record we should just record the NordVPN thing once and just use that as like the recording to put in our podcast. You know what I mean? Like we do with the intro and outro.
Yeah.
We should do that probably instead of just doing this every time. But for now,
yeah.
Before we get started, everybody, I just want to give a quick shout out to NordVPN. You can use NordVPN to browse the internet privately, safely, and securely. It allows you to unblock all sorts of things such as streaming services in other countries. And if you use the GTD affiliate link, which can be found in all of our bios and on our website, gtdsports.com, you can sign up now for a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee where you can save 70% on a $3.50 a month plan for up to 3 years. That's a killer deal. You can connect up to 6 devices simultaneously. It's available on whatever platform you use, Windows, iOS, everything. I use NordVPN myself, so I recommend you guys go and check it out at the affiliate link down in all of our bios. All right. That one felt smoother.
Yeah.
Sometimes I kind of stumble on those because it's like there's just so much to say on it.
Blah, blah, blah.
Basically, yeah. All right. If you start lagging or something, just refresh and then I can continue. Like I'll just keep talking if it happens because it is a little laggy right now.
Oh, what it is? I'm glad you caught that because.
All right. Well, it looks like we're about to get started. Elijah will be right back, I assume. A little bit of technical difficulties. All righty. Yeah, that's much better.
Before we got started because I actually didn't have my data turned on. It was on Wi-Fi. So nice catch.
That is a good catch, actually. All right, I'm gonna retweet it real quick before we actually start.
Hey, buddy. Can you not chew on the bone when I record the podcast?
All right, let's do it. Mac does whatever the fuck Mac wants, bro.
Mac does do whatever the fuck Mac wants.
All right, let's get it. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Going the Distance podcast. My name is Ryan Bonnell, and alongside me is Elijah Span. We are currently live on Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, all that good stuff for a Thursday episode. This is not our normal format. We announced it last week. We're switching over to the Tuesday, Thursday format. So we got to get used to it. It feels weird. We're recording right now with daylight outside, which is not our cup of tea. We're not used to that yet. I'm using natural daylight right now. So we're getting used to this new schedule, as I'm sure you are too. So bear with us as we figure out the exact timing and stuff like that going forward. But for now, make sure you guys check out our website, gtdsports.com, where you can find all of our content, blogs, and podcasts. Follow our Twitter. We are at @GTD_sports, and our TikTok is at gtdsports.com. You can follow our personal accounts. I'm over at Ryan Bonnell8, and Elijah is at ElijahSpan19. Last but not least, if you want to subscribe to the GTD Sports newsletter, that way you'll stay up to date with email notifications on all new podcast episodes and all that good stuff. We got a great episode planned today. It's not going to be as long as our normal ones now that we're at twice a week. But before we really get into anything, we want to start this week off, or Thursday off, a little bit different than we do Tuesdays now. Tuesdays, we're going to start every episode with our highlight, low light of the week, kind of give you a inside look into some of the personal aspects of our life and what we have going on. Whereas Thursdays, we're going back to the original starting. We're doing Would You Rathers. So, Elijah, with that being said, I'm going to open the floor to you for the Would You Rather questions.
Okay. So, would you rather fight Conor McGregor or Jake Paul?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, either way, you'd be making a shit ton of money, right? They're both money
for sure.
fights, so you're getting a bag just for getting your ass beat.
Yeah.
Is this a boxing fight or an MMA fight?
It's up to you. I didn't even think about the money thing too. But yeah, both guys, you're gonna make your money. So if that's your issue, so if you wanted, Conor McGregor has box. So if you want to turn it into a boxing thing, then yeah. Or if you even wanted to, it could be street brawl. You could sucker punch him.
I think for the sake of the conversation, let's say street brawl, against one of them. So I feel like Conor would be a bit more lethal. Either way, I'm getting my ass beat. So
that's what I'm saying.
I think I'd rather fight Jake Paul just because if I do, in the slight chance, land a punch or something, then like I was the guy that fucked up Jake Paul. You know what I mean? Like I was finally the one to do it. which would
Yeah.
never happen. But out of the two options, I think I'd rather fight Jake Paul just because the hatred, I don't know, might fuel
Yeah,
me.
so that's what I was kind of thinking too. Is like I'd much rather hit Jake Paul in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're right. Like if I fight either of these guys, I'm gonna get my ass beat no matter what. So why not? I'd rather get my ass beat by Conor McGregor than the guy that got his ass beat by Jake Paul. So that's a lot cooler of a story.
It is,
like.
yeah.
'Cause it's just
it
like
is.
you got your ass beat. It's like, dude, it's Conor McGregor. You're like, oh, that's kind of sick. But it's like you got your ass beat. It's like, yeah, it was Jake Paul. It's like, why didn't you fuck him up? You know what I mean?
Like even though he's beating Tyrone Woodley and everything now,
Yeah.
people still are just like, what the fuck, bro? It's Jake Paul. Yeah. That's a 50-50 one, honestly.
Go with McGregor.
Go McGregor. That's a coin flip, honestly.
Mhm.
All right. I'll go ahead and take it. Mine isn't as exciting as that one, but it is in the theme of football now that it's starting up. So would you rather be the kicker that just missed a game-winning field goal? Everybody is so, just upset, frustrated at you. Or would you rather be the quarterback that just threw a game-stealing interception whenever you were trying to have a game-winning drive?
Oh, that's easy. Quarterback all the way.
Really?
Dude, because if I'm the quarterback, odds are I'm going to have my job still the next week. Kicker, you're fucked. Like, think about Cody Parkey. That man can never enter Chicago safely ever again.
He was the kicker for the doink, right?
Yeah, the double doink. And then think about
doink,
Russell
yeah.
Wilson. It's like he's done fine since he does Super Bowl losing interception. Like nobody
I feel like,
ever.
though, with that
the play
situation
call.
in particular, that was the play call. Yeah,
It was the play call. But like with the quarterback, people could make excuses for you. You could be like, well, the receiver wasn't in the right positioning. It was kind of a poorly thrown ball. He was under pressure. The O-line didn't protect him very well. Like you can kind of find ways to get out of it. Like you're not gonna get yanked right away. But if you lose that game-losing kick, like your head is gonna be on a spike, whatever city you're playing on.
you're right. I think collegiate-wise, though, kickers aren't as interchangeable as they are in the NFL. Because you're right, kickers, if they miss a game-winning field goal, they can just be cut the next day, and it really isn't too much sweat off the NFL organization's back. Whereas college, though, that's their job.
Yeah,
there's a starter he's the starter for a reason usually in college.
I don't know. Well, in college, because they'll have like 4 or 5 kickers on the roster.
That's true.
Like,
yeah, sometimes they'll even switch
3.
off who does kickoff, who does field goals and stuff.
So like you could just lose your job doing kicks. Like I remember at TCU at one point, we had Jonathan Song doing everything from like 45 and in.
Yeah.
Or 40 and in because he was automatic from them, but he just didn't have that strong of a leg. And we had a different guy for like farther. So I don't know. Like then again, even in college too, I'd way rather be the quarterback.
I think that's true. I think the fan reaction, because kicker, their job is literally to kick, and quarterbacks have so many more responsibilities to think about and worry about. So I'll go ahead and agree with you on that and take the kicker.
Yeah,
I mean quarterback position. Sorry, not the kicker.
Yeah, plus you can still get laid.
That is true. I mean, bro, I feel like if you're on a D1 team, no matter what position you are, bro, it's just so easy.
That's true.
Like, I'm the kicker.
I had a friend who's a 4th string punter, and he
4th string punter.
Yeah,
that's a title right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a good guy too, and he like kept it low key to himself. But we would always be like, anytime he was with a girl, at like the bars or something, we'd always be like, hey, he's on the football team, and then they would freak out like just from that. But he'd be like, why did you tell him every time? Because he was cool about it. But yeah.
I'm sure that would be kind of awkward too, because I guarantee as soon as somebody says it, that's all the girl's gonna want to ask about and stuff.
Oh yeah. Do you know Duggan?
That's funny, bro.
Yeah.
All right, now we got mostly a football-themed episode. We're going to be doing a college football Mount Rushmore, which I'm really looking forward to. We're also going to be taking you through some of our favorite bets. Yes, sports gambling is back on the podcast. We're going through the college football lines, giving you some of our favorite picks for this weekend. And then we're going to cap it off with Love It or Loathe It, as we always do. But before we do any of that, there's a developing situation right now in the NBA. A lot's going on, a lot's up in the air, and this could honestly change the way that player and agent relationships are for the future of basketball, really. So if you haven't heard, Nerlens Noel is suing Rich Paul of Clutch Sports. And if you don't know Rich Paul, he is a very famous agent in the NBA. He's represented
Biggest
guys,
agent.
yeah, like LeBron, Carmelo, other big names. Yeah, he is the most famous agent in the NBA. And Nerlens Noel is taking him to court because he claims that Paul cost him $58 million in forfeited salaries after he declined a 4-year, $70 million deal with the Mavs in 2017.
Yeah, so I want to talk about this because, like you said, this can change the player-agent relationships in the NBA. But not only since it's Rich Paul and he is the biggest super agent in the NBA, hands down.
He's the agent, yeah.
He's the agent. It could also change player-agent relationships in all pro sports right now.
That is true, yeah.
So this is something that could be huge, and not a lot of people are talking about it. I think this football season is coming up, but this is probably the last basketball we're going to talk for the foreseeable future.
The next couple months, probably, yeah.
At least till tip off. But no, this is wild. Where it really gets interesting is Nerlens Noel was represented by his original agent, and then he went to Ben Simmons' birthday party. And Rich Paul was there and was like, hey, I think you're a $100 million man. And then Nerlens Noel was like, okay. And then signed a SPAC, which is like a player agent agreement with him. And then
he also fired his former agent, Happy.
Yeah, fired his former agent. And then he told him to take a 1-year prove-it deal, $4.1 million. And then he hurt his thumb. But where it gets interesting, after he hurt his thumb, from Nerlens Noel's perspective, Rich Paul lost interest in Nerlens, which is crazy. Like, he stopped responding to phone calls. He neglected him as a client. I can't remember here. Let me pull this up real quick. But
there was one instance in particular where after his that tryout year, essentially, where he took the 4.1 minimum to go for the 100 million next, during that year after he got hurt and everything, he was struggling to find teams to sign with. So he ended up having to re-sign another 1-year minimum deal. And Noel's big problem with this whole thing is that once you get stuck at a minimum deal, it's so hard to climb out of that. And during that transition where he was looking to get out of it, the 76ers were actually contacting Rich Paul. Yep. And Rich Paul refused to contact them back. And that's pretty fucked up. I mean, he didn't even tell Nerlens Noel. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of, player-agent relationships, but I feel like it's kind of weird, though, that the team didn't contact both of them. You know what I mean?
No, I know enough from watching Entourage that, like, if you have an agent and you get a decent offer of significance, like, you're supposed to tell your client no matter what. I mean, it was not only that, but they got the Rockets and the Clippers also tried to discuss opportunities with Nerlens with Paul, and Paul was just non-existent. This is like inexcusable. This is crazy. Apparently, this is happening to some of his like other clients and another guy, I can't remember his name, but just players like that who were supposed to be really good but just didn't pan out, and he's just neglecting them, and it's kind of fucked up. And I wonder what the lawsuit is going to rule, and I wonder where it's going to take agent signings.
I think it's going to be in Noel's favor, probably, whatever happens. I don't know how exactly it's going to affect, the agent signings for the future and whatnot. But yeah, this shit's crazy. I mean, we talked about recently Dennis Schroeder, how he kind of turned down a really big, it was what, like $80 million or something. He turned it down because he thought he was worth $100 million. Now he's playing for $5 million for a 1-year contract with the Celtics. So he gambled on himself and lost. In that situation, though, the reason I bring it up is because that kind of stuff is entirely different than what we're talking about right now. Like, that was all Schroeder's decision. I'm sure he had his agent advising him and whatnot, but this is bad. I mean, Rich Paul needs some sort of consequences for this.
Yeah, but he's not necessarily an employee of the NBA, so it's not like the NBA can necessarily take action against him. But I think, too, with the courts, Nerlens isn't going to get that full $58 million because they're going to say, well, you agreed to do the prove-it deal. But where it goes wrong, though, is where he actively ignored offers and interest from the 76ers, the Rockets, and the Clippers.
Yeah, because even if it wasn't that $58 million or that huge prize contract that Noel was seeking out, he was still getting offered more money. Like one of the reports too was that he was trying to get a $7 to $10 million deal, which would have been better than the minimum. And again, Paul just didn't communicate. So
yeah,
it's fucked. It's fucked.
It is
dude.
fucked. It is very fucked.
I don't understand it. I mean, I do understand what's going on, but I don't understand like why it happened. You know, I as a agent of that caliber, I feel like you should know that you're doing something wrong. Do you know if Rich Paul has like commented on the situation at all?
No, I haven't heard anything. So I think the lawsuit just got filed. So
yeah, it was very recent. Yeah,
things probably aren't going to pick up for at least another month or two, because that's just how things work. I'm kind of confused by it too, because it's just kind of like you think Paul would have a number of like assistant agents, I guess, if he has his, because he didn't sign with the agency, he signed with Paul himself. And
Paul works for Clutch Sports.
Yeah.
That organization. But I mean, Paul is the head honcho, so
yeah, he's the head. I mean, that guy. Didn't he also represent a bunch of baseball players too, or is that a different super agent I'm thinking about?
I don't know. Let's see. List of Rich Paul's clients. Let's see what we got. All right. So for the NBA, Tristan Thompson, Darius Garland, Miles Bridges, Draymond Green, John Wall, Anthony Edwards, Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, Yusuf Nurkic. Oh my God, bro. This dude represents everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh God. We got a fucking ad blocker. God damn it. NBC Sports. All right. Gary Trent Jr., Jordan Clarkson. Yeah, it looks like just basketball players. But Jesus. Oh, he also represents LeBron, Anthony Davis, KCP, Montrezl Harrell, Ben McLemore. Yeah, dude,
holy shit.
He has over 20 clients.
Yeah, and they're all big name guys. I was thinking of Scott Boras, who's like the MLB version of Rich Paul.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because he represents guys like Bryce Harper and I don't know. I feel like anytime there's a $300 million man, it's Scott Boras negotiating the deal. But anyway, yeah. So this is bad, but I wonder what it's gonna mean, because it's gonna be something big, right? Like something's gonna come out of this. It's gonna change the way that players negotiate contracts in the future.
Yeah, and it also kind of like the whole idea of like the fact that agents can talk to other players while they're signed with a different agent. You know what I mean? Because that was part of the problem. Is Rich Paul was contacting Nerlens Noel while he already was working with Happy Walters, his agent, and basically was telling him like, "Look, you need to make this decision, fire this guy, sign with me, and I got you." And unbeknownst to Noel, Paul did not have him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that happens a lot. I think all agents do that. They'll snipe other guys' clients all the time. But apparently other agents in the NBA are pretty fed up with it when it comes to Rich Paul, because he's just the worst at it. He abuses that power that he has, and because he can, because when you represent guys like LeBron and Simmons and all those guys, like you kind of have
he has the resume. Yeah.
He has the resume. So but apparently like a whole bunch of other NBA agents are sick of him too. So
yeah, because it's weird. Like, you know, NBA organizations and executives, they're not allowed to contact other players, like, you know, to try and recruit them per se. Players can talk to players all they want, but like executive, unless it's like free agency and stuff, they can't like sway them to join their team after the season and whatnot. Like that is very frowned upon. But yet for agents, it's free game. So that's kind of weird to me. We got a comment here from Colin, though, confirming the Scott Boras is the baseball agent. People call him the Antichrist. He's probably making a shit ton of money, though. All right. Yeah, crazy situation, though, with Noel. So if anything updates on that, we'll probably talk about it in the near future. But for now, that's probably what we got for basketball-wise. Switching gears, though, college football this weekend, as you probably already know. It's week 0 already happened, but now is officially week 1. There's a full slate of games on the board. And we want to do something a little bit fun for college football. Dude, it's so stacked, bro. Oh, I can't. It was like overwhelming looking through all the lines. I didn't know what to look for. My best
So-
bets that we're going to go through in a bit are kind of just first reaction. I didn't really put too much research in them. I got to double down on that after
But before
this.
we go into that, I do want to say last week we were talking about the pros and cons of the college football playoff. One of the
Mhm.
pros have been having really great week ones since college football playoff got indicted with the whole like strength of resume and all that, strength of schedule. Like that, we did not used to get matchups like this back in the day until this college football playoff came into play. Like
Yeah.
Bama was playing fucking like Citadel week one, you know?
Yeah, a team they would blow out by like 49. And meanwhile, now it's Miami, Alabama, week 1.
So
Which
they
that-
don't even have to do it.
What was that?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry. There's the lag right now. But in general though, Alabama and Miami, that's a fucking killer week 1 game, which is kind of brave on Miami's part. Because if I was them, I would never want to play Alabama week 1. But like Elijah said, that is kind of what we've come to. And I love it. As a fan, I'm here for it. I want to see other week 1 games. There's a few other massive games. Georgia and Clemson is a huge week 1 game. UCF
biggest.
Boise State is tonight. I think right after we finish recording this, it's going to be starting. That's a pretty big game for the group of 5. What else?
That's
what?
tonight?
Yeah, UCF is tonight. UCF Boise State.
I'm gonna watch
Dude,
that.
I know. There's a couple big games on tonight.
I don't know who to bet for that though.
I took UCF minus 5.5, but then the line changed to minus 6.5, so now I'm nervous. I don't know if I want to do it. I feel like they're just gonna win by 6 and fuck me. Total is like 70, bro. I can never bet UCF over unders.
That's tough.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I
like
know.
I don't know.
Before we get any bets, though, we're going to go ahead and take you through. We're going to build a college football-themed Mount Rushmore. And instead of doing just a general, top 4 athletes of all time type thing, we're going to split the Mount Rushmore up, and we're each going to take one coach, one quarterback, one flex player, so running back, wide receiver, tight end, and then one defender to make up our Mount Rushmore of college football. So there's no fun visuals or anything going on right now. So if you're listening to the audio, it's chill.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you. For starters, let's go ahead and take coaches for our first pick. So who would your Mount Rushmore coach be if you had to put one on there?
Saban.
Saban as okay. Of course See, I kind of went the more fun route. I was thinking just like personality and everything included. And I'm going to go with Mike Leach because he is one of the funniest human beings alive and just straight up weird. And I love it.
Yeah, I actually considered Mike Leach if we were going to do nothing but coaches. I was like, I want to pick Mike Leach. Steve Spurrier was another guy I considered back in the day. Gary Patterson was another guy I considered because he means so much to us.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
a great coach. Yeah, I had my list. I had like Sweeney on there, Mike Leach, Gary Patterson, and Coach O from LSU.
Oh, Coach O.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
All right. QB.
Yeah, QB. What do you got?
I'm probably stealing your pick, but I'm going Tebow.
Tebow? Okay. No, that would be my pick, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to do the same thing or be something a little different.
I mean, you could pick guys like Doug Flutie.
That is my number 2, yeah.
Who else would there be?
No, I'm gonna go with Flutie. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Doug
Flutie. Go with Flutie. Lamar Jackson would be a
legend.
really good pick.
Lamar Jackson is an all-time, yeah. That is true. Even like recently with like Johnny Manziel, Jameis Winston, they are arguably 2 of the greatest college football
Johnny
quarterbacks
Manziel was
ever.
on my board. Jameis was on my board.
I'm gonna go Doug Flutie just for the historical aspect.
Doug Flutie, the Flutie flick. All right, and then you go ahead and take the first pick for flex.
For flex, all right. See, this one was a lot harder because there's a lot of names, there's a lot of legends. I really didn't know whether I wanted to go with a running back or a wide receiver here. There's not many legendary collegiate tight ends, so I kind of ruled that out. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with for my flex. I'm gonna take Ricky Williams because I think
Ricky Williams.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think he is one of the top 5 running backs of all time in college football. Top 3 probably.
Yeah.
I'm curious who
for
your
real.
pick is, and I'll say who else I was considering.
I'm going Barry Sanders, all-time purpose yards leader. And Barry Sanders. Well, I think McCaffrey might have broke that actually.
He may have, yeah.
But Heisman winner, legend at OSU. Yeah, I got to go Barry Sanders. He did everything.
You can't go wrong with Barry Sanders, yeah. A few of my other options I had were LaDainian Tomlinson, because even though he is near and dear to our heart as TCU, he's still one of the greatest college running backs ever. He broke a shit ton of records.
Hey.
I also thought about Archie Griffin from Ohio State just because he is, only player to win 2 Heismans. And then for receiver, I thought about Desmond Howard because he won the Heisman as a receiver, or Michael Crabtree because he's a fucking dog.
Crabtree, yeah, I'll never forget that game.
Yeah, dude, a lot of tough choices there.
Yeah, there was a lot of tough choices. I also thought about McCaffrey himself too. Receivers, Devontae Smith is like for just receivers.
Yeah.
Just because that one season.
Yeah, all time wise, he's up there.
Yeah, I mean Jeremy Shockey if you want to go tight ends.
Actually, Jeremy Shockey would probably be like the college tight end.
Yeah.
OJ Howard was pretty good at Alabama too.
OJ Howard really didn't put up that many big numbers. I feel like he was the most overrated prospect going into the NFL because like they didn't really pass it to him. He was just an athletic freak, and he had like a couple big games.
Yeah, so, he was like a big play machine. It was boom or bust for him.
I would still take like Kellen Winslow Jr. or pretty much just like any tight end that was at the U in the early 2000s.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, you could even talk about Florida had a few good tight ends, bro. Aaron Hernandez played for Florida. He was pretty good at Florida.
God, I'm trying to think who else. I mean, because there's so many great college players. You got Bo Jackson, Herschel Walker would be.
Herschel Walker. Yeah, that's another one I didn't think about.
A solid guy to pick.
We could probably make a Mount Rushmore just out of the flex players.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
All right. So far, there's so many. So far, I got Mike Leach, Doug Flutie, and I already forgot Ricky Williams. And you have Saban, Tebow, and who's the last one you just picked? Barry Sanders. All right. Pretty good list so far. So to round it out, we're going to do one defensive player because I feel like defenders kind of get left out of these conversations. Mm-hmm. So I'll go ahead and pick first. I'm going to take it's between 2, but I'm going to go with this is tough. Actually, I'm going to let you pick. Because I'm 50-50. Charles Woodson? Okay.
Yeah.
He was not in my 50-50. So
okay,
I'm going to go Deion Sanders.
Okay.
Yeah. But neither one you can't go wrong with. I mean,
no.
Yeah.
Who's going to be your other guy?
Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh, shit, he just had one play.
Bro, he was killer in college. He was ruthless.
I would take Chase Young in college over Jadeveon Clowney.
Maybe.
17 sacks, bro, in college.
Maybe.
In the season. Come on.
That's true, actually. I don't know, though. That one play of Jadeveon Clowney, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's just the play
one of the coolest plays ever.
If we did Mount Rushmore of college football plays, that'd be on there.
That's true. Well, I mean, that's why I didn't pick him. I went with Deion Sanders.
Yeah, good call. Who else would there be, man? It's so tough. The Boz would be another.
The Boz, yeah, dude. I was considering him too. Not even for the talent, just because of the meme aspect.
Well, and he was actually really good.
Oh yeah,
he would have been really good in the pros if he didn't have the shoulders of an 80-year-old man.
Dude, Manti Te'o. I mean, everybody memes about him, but he was a Heisman contender as a linebacker. That's one of the recent guys. He was really good. Most of the guys I feel like are defensive ends. J.J. Watt was fucking killer at Wisconsin.
J.J. Watt.
There's a lot of big guys in the front seven in college.
Yeah, it's just hard because like you don't really remember a bunch of the greatest defensive college players as college players. You kind of think of them as NFL and then retroactively then back into college. So it's a little bit
You're right.
of a list.
Like even like Charles Woodson and Deion Sanders, we picked them for a college Mount Rushmore, but they are much more famous for their NFL careers. It's just
Charles Woodson did win Heisman.
No, I was just about to say, but I mean, they did literally kill it in college. They were like the best of the best.
Yeah.
I mean, Deion Sanders to Florida State like completely altered the way recruiting was done because he was like the first true superstar of college football.
That's true.
He just got whatever the fuck he wanted, dude, literally. So yeah, to recap our Mount Rushmore, I closed out with Mike Leach, Doug Flutie, Ricky Williams, and Deion Sanders. And Elijah closed out with Nick Saban, Tim Tebow, Barry Sanders, and Charles Woodson. So I'd say you can't really go wrong with either one of those Mount Rushmores. That was pretty fucking good, if you ask me.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways.
It was it's pretty easy to get away with the good one when you only have two guys.
Yeah, two of us doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were trying to see if we could finagle a few guests to come on last minute because this was a little bit last minute planned. We're still getting used to the Tuesday, Thursday format, but we still wanted to do it anyway, just with us two. So maybe next time we do something like this, I'm sure I want to do a draft soon, like another kind of hypothetical draft like we did with the sports movies. That was a lot of fun. That's great for social media too. Gets a lot of comments and everything.
I will never get enough of drafting shit like that.
Yeah, it's so fun.
I could do it. I could do one an episode easily.
It's like the rush you get when drafting for fantasy football.
I had my fantasy football draft last night.
Not to the same extent. Oh, how'd that one go?
Oh, dude, I killed it. My team, my friends are idiots. Do you want to hear my team actually, real quick?
Yeah, I was about to say who's your running backs and wide receivers. I want to hear.
So quarterbacks were going like candy the first couple of rounds, so I just kept on collecting all the skill position players. But I got Stafford as QB, Eckler and James Robinson as my running backs, DeAndre Hopkins, Cooper Kupp, Kyle Pitts, Tyler Lockett, New England defense, Jason Myers is my kicker, Michael Thomas, Jamal Williams, Corey Davis, Michael Carter, Tony Pollard, Jameis Winston, Brian Edwards.
Ooh, damn.
This is a 12-man league, by the way.
Oh, damn, bro. That's pretty fire.
Yeah.
Tyler Lockett is your wide receiver 3?
Yeah.
And you got Corey Davis on the bench? Fucking, that's pretty crazy.
I should have, and Michael Thomas. I should have drafted Trey Sermon over Corey Davis, but I thought I could get both, and I didn't. I was like, shit. But
I think Corey Davis is the better pick.
Yeah, but I need more running backs. But whatever. Moving on. We've done enough fantasy.
Enough fantasy. All right, yeah. We already talked about some of the biggest games for college football, but now let's get into some of our favorite bets. So let's hit the big games first. So for Alabama and Miami, I am gonna make the bold decision to bet against Alabama. I'm not very excited to do this, but I want to throw money on this game because it's prime time. Everybody's going to be watching it. And I think the U is back. I don't think they're back to their glory days in the 90s, but I think people can start throwing up the U with pride now. They're going to have at least a 9-win season because getting past Alabama is not going to happen. That's a free loss. But plus 19-point underdogs, I think they can cover that. I think they can get away with an 18-point loss here. That's what I'm really reaching for.
Yeah, I agree with you. If I were to have action on this game, I would probably lean towards Miami. But the reason why I didn't is because, I don't want to bet against Bama.
I'm so scared.
It's scary. It's tough. Remember when Notre Dame was 19-point underdogs in the college football playoff last year?
Bro, but it's Notre. Yeah, that's true, actually. I was nervous then, too.
Yeah. And then, I also, like, I could see Bama just, like, it's crazy to think that Bama could win by 3 scores against Miami here, 17 points, and still not cover the spread. So, like, for that, like, I think 19 points is decent. It's decent play, but it's hard. So, like, I'm personally gonna stay away with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason the odds makers set it this high because Bama's probably gonna win by at least a possession or two. But yeah, it's a bit of a cushion. That's why I'm siding with Miami. Moving on, next big game though, other biggest game is probably Georgia Clemson this weekend. What's your play on that one?
I'm going with the over at 50.5.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I think 50.5 is way too low of an over-under total for college football, especially when it comes to week one, when defenses are known to be still a little. They're not mid-season form at all. If we learned anything from last season, points fly at the beginning of the year. So yeah, hammer this over. This is two really good offenses. Yeah, this is going to be two really good defenses, but it's going to be a competitive game. So 50.5 for a college football game with these two caliber offenses is not much to ask for. Hammer it.
I was very surprised to see that it was set this low because you're right. They do have two great defenses. Everybody's been hyping up Georgia's defense all offseason. But, man, Clemson goes out there and they just put up points no matter who it's against. Like, literally any defense they can rip through. And I know it's DJ Uiagalelei's first official game as a starting quarterback, even though he played against Notre Dame last year. I have full faith in him. I think he's going to go off. He's going to shred through that defense. I love that play of over. And with that being said, I'm taking the over 50.5 as well as Clemson -3. I don't see any shot of Clemson losing week one. So I would say that -3 is a fucking gift of a line.
Yeah. I mean, Georgia's going to be a good team this year, though.
They are. They are going to be a good team. But I was expecting this line to be like -6.5, which would have been really hard to pick. But -3, I'm taking Clemson. Just because, I mean, they're fucking Clemson. What else do you have to say about it?
Yeah, if I were to take action, I'd probably go Clemson. But I instead decided to just bet on the total.
I think that is I'm going to put like 2 units on the total probably, and maybe 1 on the spread. Because, now the more we talk about it, the more I like the over.
I like a unit and a half.
A unit and a half? All right. What's your other favorite play?
So I have 2 units on UNC 5.5, -5.5 over Virginia Tech.
Okay.
UNC is going to come out firing. Sam Howell wants that Heisman. I know he does. He's lights out. UNC is going to be out to prove something this year after a really good season last year. Virginia Tech had a good season last year too, but I just think UNC's offense is going to be too much for them.
Yeah, their offense is just crazy firepower. Even after losing Javonte Williams and De'Ami Brown, they're still going to be putting up crazy numbers. Yeah, Sam Howell, I hope he goes and gets the Heisman, bro. I would love to see Sam Howell win the Heisman. Is this at Virginia Tech or is it at UNC? I think it's at Virginia Tech, right?
I don't even know. I don't remember.
But the only reason I'm nervous, VT is a tough place to play.
Yeah, but I just think they're the better team. And also, too, it's like with the spread, it being at 5.5 instead of like 3 or something like that, is I don't see this as a game where many field goals are going to be kicked because their offense is so good. They're going to keep going for it on 4th down a lot.
It's probably going to be like a 49-35 type game.
Yeah.
Knowing UNC. Yeah, UNC's overs last year were just so fucky, man. Like, I don't even want to pay attention to them. I'm scared to bet certain teams over unders. Like UCF is another one of them because they're always set at like, ultra high.
It's like, they're super high, but like they can definitely hit. Like,
exactly.
I remember UTOU and it was at like 75 and everyone was like, dude, hit the under, and it went to like 90 points.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. No, because especially if you're like, you always want to root for points, right? But it's a bit more stressful whenever it's the first quarter and you're like, shit, I still have 70 more points to go. Like, it's just not easy.
It's 7-10, and this is not the right pace.
Yeah, dude. Every time I have an over/under, I keep the pace in my head. I'm like, all right, well, if they score a field goal, this possession will be fine. Or like, if they score a touchdown here, everything's okay. But it just never works out exactly how you hope it does.
All right, what's your next pick?
My next one, I actually have a lot of plus money, like underdog picks right now. So I'm going to go ahead and give a 2-for-1 special just because these are non-Power 5 teams. I'm taking Northern Iowa plus 31.5 against Iowa State. UNI is their kryptonite. Iowa State has struggled against them twice in the past. They almost got upset a decade ago. And I'm not an Iowa State football historian by any means, but 31.5 points is a lot to win by regardless of who you're playing. So I don't know. I'm just kind of kind of a little upset feeling here. I don't think UNI is going to win, but I think they'll play Iowa State a lot tougher than people think they will. And then my next one is San Jose State, one of my favorite teams from last year to bet. They went from the gutters to being Mountain West champions, undefeated, and now they're arguably a top 25 team. So I'm taking San Jose State plus 16 against the biggest phonies in the fucking country, USC.
Okay. Yeah, I realized after I made all my picks this week and looking at all the lines that I've only bet favorites this week, which kind of scares me, but like I'm pretty confident in the picks that I've taken though.
Dude, I tend to do that too though. It's like natural. I don't know why.
Well, usually I'm a big dog. I'm a big dog guy. I love betting dogs. I feel like
I every time, I don't know, I'll like look through the lines and I'll get done with them and I'll be like, oh, eight out of these 10 spreads I picked are favorites, huh? It's probably not great, but I don't know why. Like I just seem to always be more drawn to the favorite for the spread.
yeah, I mean, it's hard not to because it's usually the better team is why. But
Yeah.
But I kind of made it up to myself in my head. I was like, well, I did get away with a Illinois money line last week, so maybe I should go back to the dogs.
Dude,
go back to the favorites.
I got a pick for you actually. I don't know if you've seen the Illinois line or not yet, bro, but it's free money. Illinois is playing UTSA, Texas San Antonio, and Illinois is only 5-point favorites. Like, if they can beat Nebraska by 2 possessions, they can, or no, it was only a touchdown at the end, but still, they can handle UTSA, bro. 5 points? Are you kidding me? That's free money. I'm hammering that one.
That's easy.
Yeah.
And then so I have Texas A&M minus 29 over Kent State. I know that's a lot of points, but it's an SEC team versus a MAC team.
Maction, baby. The
Kent
most
State isn't
electric
even
league
that
in
good.
football.
Yeah, Kent State isn't even that good in the Maction. So, and it's really good. That's just they're going to come out firing week 1, and I see this as like a 50-point game.
And they're home.
And UT, University of Texas, minus 8 over University of Louisiana. They're going to come out firing with Sark, first game of head coach. They're not going to get upset. I don't see it happening week 1, especially against the Raging Cajuns.
I wouldn't sleep on the Raging Cajuns, bro. I really wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased because I fucking despise UT with all of my heart. But the Raging Cajuns were a decent team last year. They were a top 25 team. I think they finished with 1 loss, and that was to a Power 5 school. But you're right. UT should definitely win that game. But they do kind of have a history of opening up the season on a rocky start. Like, they dropped a game to Maryland a few years ago in week 1.
Yeah, this is true.
I think that's a good pick. I'm just too nervous to bet on Texas.
I think for those reasons is why the line isn't as big as it probably should be.
You're right. I was surprised that like odds makers didn't favor Texas more because they tend to suck their dick a little bit.
Yeah, but this is just I just see Sark coming out firing week 1. Sark is a head coach that's had experience, and I think he's going to handle the head coaching position at UT really well.
It'll be interesting to see how that works out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a redemption story because him coming back from like addiction issues, which is like really admirable in my opinion. It's like a thing for me. So I'm rooting for him actually to like be good at UT. So
I could say I like Steve Sarkisian, and I do root for his personal success, but I don't know if I can root for UT to be good, bro.
That is tough. That is tough. And then my last pick of the week, who I have 2 units on again, is Baylor minus 14 over Texas State. Texas State is the worst college football program in the state when it comes to the D1 sports. They are so fucking bad. Baylor isn't that good either, but they're still a Power 5 team who has, at least some resemblance of talent, and they're going to kick Texas State's ass.
I'm probably going to take that pick too, now that you mention it. Yeah, and especially because it's at Texas State, but for Baylor, that's literally a 30-minute bus trip over. So that's no big deal.
It's like 2.5 hours.
From Waco to San Marcos?
Yeah, San Marcos is south of Austin, bro.
I know, but it's like 30 minutes south, right?
Yeah.
So I guess like an hour and a half, maybe. I don't know.
Waco's like an hour and a half, 2 hours from Austin.
I don't know. Regardless, it's not that bad of a road trip for Baylor.
No. Yeah,
but
well, nobody goes to Texas State games. I know people that go to Texas State. Nobody goes to their football games because they're terrible, and they've been
they go
terrible
2-10
for a
every
very
year.
long time. Yeah, they're awful. So this is easy money.
I have a play. Like I think I have $60 on Texas State under 4.5 wins this season, which is a lock in my opinion. But we'll see how that works out. I've never thrown 3 units on a future bet, let alone a group of 5 future bets. So we'll see how that one pans out. But no, I really like that Baylor pick a lot, which I hate betting on Baylor, but that is, you got to use your brain more than your heart when you're sports gambling. So
For sure.
my last picks for this weekend, my last pick is West Virginia -3 at Maryland. I think West Virginia has a great, well-rounded team. They're not one of the best offenses, not one of the best defenses, but man, they are solid on all ends of the field. Jared Doge is a great game-managing quarterback. Letty Brown, I think, is one of the most underrated running backs in all of college football. So West Virginia -3 really isn't that too much to ask for. And Maryland is kind of a struggling team recently. So they have Tagovailoa's brother.
Yeah, I was about to say, they got two of his little brother.
They got Tagovailoa's brother, but he doesn't seem to be as special as Tua so far. So I'm going to stick with the Mountaineers there. And then also I forgot to mention tonight for Thursday night, I'm taking Ohio State -7 in the first half because I think they cover pretty easy.
Yeah, a lot of people are on Ohio State right now. I'm just 14 points against Minnesota. Minnesota just has a really good offense. And so that's why I kind of stayed away from. Maybe the first half bet is worthy. I might.
That's what I'm only taking the first half. Yeah, I'm not waiting the whole game.
I might tell you on that, honestly.
Yeah, I like that. I only put 1 unit on it, but I like I love first half bets. Like if there's ever a spread where I'm like, ooh, that's too much. I'm kind of nervous to, that they'll cover it. I just always stick with the first half, and a lot of times it works out. Other times it fucks me, but I like the strategy. All right, well, that's all of our best bets, I think, for this weekend. So, I mean, you want to tail us, you want to fade us, that's up to you, but it's going to be a good weekend of betting. I'm fucking excited, dude. I can't wait to just be glued to the TV all day Saturday. And tonight even, bro. Ohio State's playing, Boise State, UCF.
We'll be on the road.
I feel like a kid in a can. Yeah, I got to work tonight, but whenever I get back, the games will be on. So
yeah, I'm driving up back to Fort Worth today after we record to home for this weekend.
Oh, you're coming today? Okay.
Yeah, we decided to come tonight.
Bet. All right, let's hit some love it or low that round out this episode.
Let's do it. Right. You want to take? We have 1, 2, 3, 4.
We got
7. Here, I'll add 8 real quick.
All right.
What do you want first? Do you want to go first or second?
I'll take the first ones.
Okay.
Because I know you probably want to talk about
yeah.
Bryson.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so Netflix is producing a Drive to Survive-like series for the upcoming PGA season.
I love this one. It's awesome that Netflix is getting more involved with sports. They recently had a series on the F1, which I did not watch myself, but I want to because I've heard a lot of people said that just watching the Netflix show really helped them get more involved in F1 and more of a fan of F1. So I think this is a great way to reach a younger audience, reach a completely new audience for the sport. So I love this. I hope they do this with more sports down the line.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything that you just said. I know so many people that are big F1 fans now because they watched the Drive to Survive during the pandemic.
Dude, I got to watch it, bro, because F1 is one of those things I've been meaning to get into.
Yeah, apparently it's awesome.
For the people that watch it that I've talked to, they all love it. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Mark Davis is building a new $14 million mansion, and it is badass. Looks eerily similar to the Death Star that is Allegiant Stadium.
Wait, really?
It's awesome.
All right. I'm going to load this one just because not the biggest fan of Mark Davis, so.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The Big 12 is looking to add some new schools to the conference in order to stay alive. Right now, they're looking at UCF, University of Houston, BYU, and Cincinnati.
So I loathe this one, but I want to talk about it for a little bit. I think this is entirely the wrong move. Without a question, this is the wrong direction the Big 12 should be going. The Big 12 should be looking at straight up exploding, dissolving, ceasing to exist. If they care about their programs, that is what they will do. I understand they're trying to make money as a conference. They're trying to stay relevant, yada, yada. But these teams like TCU, Oklahoma State, they're going to be fucked financially if this is what happens. And the Big 12 will lose a ton of respect, like a ton. They will be viewed as a glorified group of 5 conference with those teams. So even though those aren't bad teams to add to the conference, it's Pac-12 or bust for TCU in particular, and everybody else needs to scramble. So that's my philosophy, at least. So I think that's just dumb.
I agree. But with those teams, we would easily be the best conference of like the new group of 6, which would be like, it'd be okay. I'd rather us go to like the Pac-12 or something like that. But that would turn into like a decent conference.
It would be decent, and I mean, you're right. UCF is on the right trajectory. I'm sure if they joined a bigger conference, that would help a lot with recruiting and stuff like that. But same thing with Cincinnati; they've been trending in the right direction. BYU too. I don't know, man. I mean,
no, you're right though.
They're just still, even if they're doing good, their competition has always been lackluster. So who's to say that they come into a Power 5 conference and retain that success? You know?
Okay. Yeah. SMU is starting the season with a 6'8", 232-pound kicker.
Oh, I absolutely love this one. It's one of the most obscure stories I've seen in recent days. But that's fucking awesome, dude. Good for that kid. Georgia Tech had that one fat punter. I forgot his name. Percy Harvin, I think. And everybody loves him. He's in the NFL now. Everybody loved that dude just strictly because he was a big chungus going out there to punt. And now we're going to see probably somebody built like Tyson Fury out there taking kicks for SMU. So that'll be hilarious to watch. I want to see if he's actually good or not.
Yeah, apparently he's booming like 74 yarders.
Well, I mean, if he's that size, he's got to have a cannon, bro.
Yeah, you have to. Okay.
All right, switching gears now.
You can read the top part. I can explain the other stuff.
All right. Well, first one's first. The Buccaneers have reached a 100% vaccination status, according to Bruce Arians.
Yeah, I love this. I can't believe that it makes sense that they're the first team to do it because they want to run it back so desperately, and so they don't want to lose anybody to COVID and have them going out. And also, Bruce Arians has been very outspoken for players getting the vaccine, so it makes sense. But 100% is
it's impressive.
Yeah, it's impressive.
All right. Next up, we got Bryce and D Shambo had another tough weekend.
Yeah, so on Friday, he almost got to 60, or he almost hit a 59, which is tied for the best score in golf for a single round. But then he missed the putt by inches. He then lost the BMW Championship in the sixth round of a sudden death playoff series of holes to Patrick Cantley. And then it's also very apparent that Patrick Cantley doesn't fucking like Bryce and DeChambeau, by the way his body language was. And on top of that, Roy McIlroy was asked about DeChambeau, and he went on like a 2-minute spiel about how he feels bad for him. He literally said, "I feel bad for him." And then he went,
"Why though?"
Just because he catches so much shit, by everyone. And he also said, but he also said he's definitely not blameless in some of the stuff that goes on with him, though. But I do feel bad for him.
Yeah.
So just that. Yeah.
You don't want to be treated like a titty baby. Don't be a titty baby.
That's true. But like, just to have a guy of Rory, like that stature of Rory, just to be like, yeah, I pity. He literally said he pities Bryson DeChambeau. Like, that's got to be embarrassing.
That's got to be tough for Bryson to hear that. Yeah. Dude, he gets so much shit from the public. It's kind of funny, though.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Logan Paul turns down a guy begging him for a job at the Jake Paul fight.
Okay, I love this. Did you see this video?
I saw the video of the dude crying in his car. Yes.
So funny. He's like, I make $100,000 a year. And like, why would you ever leave that?
Yeah, he's like, I have
too.
dreams, bro. It's like, well, a lot of people dream of making $100K a year. So
Yeah, I would do a lot of things to make $100K a year. Are you kidding me? So yeah, it's just hilarious. And like, if you go to see the video of him talking to Logan Paul is like actually really cool. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, I want to be like you. Like, I want to make it. Like, can I have a job? And he's like, what are your skills? He's like, I don't have any. And he goes, then why would I hire you? And he was like, and then he said something else like, well, like, yeah, I don't have any contacts. Like, I don't have any friends. And he was like, I didn't have any contacts either. I had my brother, Jake, but we made it. And then he goes, he's like, you don't have any friends? He's like, no, I don't have any friends. He's like, you're good looking. This guy's lying. He has friends. And he walks away. Guys,
dude, that's
crying.
what do you expect to happen though if you just say that and then you're like, yeah, I have no skills. Give me a job. Like, what? That's weird.
All right. And then
last but not least, Cristiano Ronaldo returns to the number 7 at Manchester United. We talked about his return to Man U, but he's back at the number 7.
Yep, love it. It's cool to see him back in the number 7. Excited to see him in the EPL again.
Not much more on that. Yep, it is what it is with that.
It is what it is.
All right, well, that's going to do it for today's episode. It's weird now I can't really say this week's episode anymore because we have 2 episodes a week. So if you didn't watch the entire live episode, don't worry. The recorded version will be uploaded to Spotify and Apple Podcasts shortly after this. So with that being said, thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.